Uh-huh.
See it? Oh, I see it.
Okay, so for the first
Data
point
world.
here, it's here is Devil's Thirst here.
Mm-hmm.
It's back here by this water tower.
Mm-hmm. Got one fast travel pack.
Let's go.
Where?
Above me.
Oh, it's down there.
What? Oh my god.
Right, just in the grass.
Right here. Refugee Museum opens. Climate Refugee Museum opens in London. London, May 8th, 2060. Celebrated poet and environmental activist Diego Abella fought back tears today in a speech delivered on the steps of the newly opened Climate Refugee Memorial Museum in London. I was 19 in 2033 when the waves rose up and swallowed the Azores, Abella said. The waves swallowed my home. The next decade of my life I would spend behind the walls of the Thamesmead Emergency Relocation Facility, starving at day, freezing at night, contending with scorn, disgust, and abuse from the very people charged to care for me. Bella went on to discuss the still controversial police action of 2038 and the Thamesmead uprising, and it was an uprising, not a riot, as your hollow pages still call it. I saw men and women crushed between the jackboot heel of a panicking power structure. Friends, lovers, I saw them die. My experience is not singular. There were 1,000 Thamesmeads. We must not allow this dark moment in our species' history to become a shrugging footnote. Second Chance Party UK Prime Minister Sally Boyer was among the first to tour the new museum. Our nation totally needs this. What climate refugees endured was really bad. It completely deserves a real space museum so it can literally stand in their remembrance and be aware and create a brighter world than what came before. In contrast, opposition candidate Nigel Kearns Bailey of the Fair Chance UK Party was fiercely critical of the museum as spokesperson. More than 1 billion persons perished in the Great Die-Off thanks to the generosity of the UK, our generosity. Diego Abella was not one of them. If he so hates the fact that we saved his life and gave him shelter for a decade, I suggest he wend his way down to the Thames and jump in. It's never too late to drown. In fact, Okay.
Okay then.
Okay, so the next one is going to be here, just to the left of the water tower we were just at. Scott versus Frost. Overturning Scott versus Frost is a pipe dream. January 9th, 2061. Of all the tedious and repetitive talking points that became the touchstones of the last presidential election, none were more empty or jejune than the debate over Schott versus Frost, the Supreme Court's decision that granted corporations the right to run for and hold political office through proxy candidates. Nobody could be blamed for thinking this was an actual issue. This was the race, after all, that brought us such deliciously dramatic hollow clips as Lucy Almodovar asking to speak to your Barney Atami's manager, and Atami declaring Almodovar a dangerous anarchist for her apparently anti-corporate stance. But for all of Almodovar's fiery rhetoric, the fact remains that the single largest donor to her campaign fund was arguably the second most powerful corporate entity in the world, Metallurgic International. To think that she would have any legitimate interest in...
Okay.
Okay, number 4.
We need 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so there's this big building here. We're right on top of the Devil's Thirst.
It's literally
marker.
right next to the marker.
This building right there is right here. This is Jeff Andretti's show.
Mm-hmm.
Transcript. The Jeff Andretti Show, Floor 1762, Part 4. Transcript of each episode are posted within 24 hours on andretis.hollow/transcripts. Visit andretis.hollow to sign up for Jeff's newsletter today. Jeff, and we're back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're listening to the Jeff Andretis Show, brought to you, of course, by the Rational Capitalist Immersicast Network. And let's just jump right into this. There is this trend of young people who are immigrating to China, of all places, for work. They're choosing to work in China's factories as manual labor. There's this article today posted on Cafe Intel, one of those cultural trends, fluff pieces these progs are so fond of, reporting that immigration to China by American citizens has doubled since 2050. Now, why is that? Well, Cafe Intel would have you believe that corporate sovereignty, that's left current favorite boogeyman, and increased automation have limited their opportunities here in America. Folks, I know I don't have to tell you the world's smartest radio audience, but that is absurd. Do you know what's limited these young people's opportunities? Poor decision making, nothing else. Right now, at this very moment in history, the best instruction in the history of education is available to anyone who has the nuts to apply for a modest loan. But no, these infants, these spoiled, better back winners, with their inherited, unexamined prejudice against the amazing work being done by corporations around the globe, and in this country specifically, they say, oh no, I would go to a corporate school. I don't want to go learn something useful from someone successful. I want to move to Vancouver. I want to major in Bashkor studies from stoned out of my mind on Snake University. What exactly did you think was going to happen when you graduated with your creative expression degree from some East Coast left-wing edu-enclave that nobody's ever heard of? Folks, we aren't experiencing a brain drain in this country. We are experiencing a shame drain. And I say, bring it on. We're going to open the channels here. If you want to drop in, you know where to find us. As always, no fancy skins, no voice mods. If you're going to be a belligerent ass on my show, you're going to do it with your real face, you cowards. Okay, interesting. Number 5.
Okay, there's a ton just in this area, so this looks like it's also in this area.
Never takes long before scrappers come looking for parts.
Dead scrapper.
Who's one of those? Oh god.
Harvesting.
There
you go. Easy. GG, easy.
GG scrappers. Ooh, scrapper heart. Oh, is that it there?
Oh yeah.
Alright. Okay, so we are the Devil's Thirst bandit camp's right there. We're directly south of it. Not really any landmarks. That big building there. But
a big grassy circle on the map.
yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
UK vets struggle. 10 years after mustering out, UK vets struggled to make ends meet. Watford, May 1st, 2062. 10 years ago, Lance Corporal Rosalind Jeffries received her discharge paperwork at a ceremony that marked the decommissioning of all human combat forces in the Royal Air Force. Today, Jeffries and her husband live with another former military family in a small 2-bedroom flat in Watford. Well, it's not ideal, says the good-humored Jeffries, who supplements her military pension as a bartender, but it's sort of an English tradition, isn't it? Resenting elected officials for breaking promises, we make do. Jeffries isn't the only one having to make do. According to a study conducted by the Social Welfare Research Institute, 75% of veterans polled report they are unable to cover living expenses with their pension income alone. Researchers Harold Adeyemi explains it's a complicated situation. 10 years ago, few people anticipated just how high and how quickly the cost of living would rise, as funding of the NHS has gradually been siphoned into the coffers of corporate healthcare providers. It's become increasingly difficult for veterans to access medical care. Those are just 2 factors of probably thousands contributing to straits becoming so dire for our veterans, but I suppose that's still a comfort to someone who's struggling to feed their children.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one, the Vantage is right here. This is the building. It's right outside.
It's right there.
Leaks spark fears. Leaked Xiaolu internal correspondence sparked fears of potential mass layoffs/deportations. Shanghai, July 4th, 2062. The hacker collective Idiot Army has released nearly a terabyte of internal correspondence from Xiaolu Lunar Resources, Inc., sparking rumors that the Shanghai-based lunar mining company is preparing to downsize considerably. Shanglu's sizable robotic war fleet and competitive salaries attracted attention from young English-speaking professionals in the mid-2050s, but the leaked files suggest that the company's increasing reliance on automation may have made much of the human workforce obsolete. Correspondence
that's going on everywhere.
repeatedly touches on the potential cost of relocating redundant personnel, suggesting that if mass layoffs do occur, former Xiaolu employees will lose the Chinese citizenship guaranteed by their employment. Okay. Resistance along the way. Is that like? Oh yeah, I see it.
Oh yeah.
It's at the gas station again, like the one in Denver was.
I remember that. No, you're just killing him! Yeah. I'm gonna take those down like 2 seconds anyway.
Yeah, right. You said that we're leaving the springs after this one?
I think so.
Like I sniped it from over here. Hertz wins Bahamas. Hertz declares victory and fight for the Bahamas. Nassau, December 22nd, 2062. After weeks of skirmishes between the robotic forces of U.S.-backed Hertz Corporation and the Columbia-based Combined TG Communications, the islands that compose the former Commonwealth of the Bahamas have been officially acquired by Hertz, pending successful request for enfranchisement. Interest in the Bahamas nearly re-emerged since polar ice reconstitution caused global sea levels to recede, was sparked by Bahamian beaches' rich deposits of aragonite, a mineral used in the chemical scrubbing of water-based pollutants. Hertz, which commands an already impressive robotic military force, enlisted the aid of Michigan-based private military corporation Great Lakes Combat Solutions to capture TG Communications manufacturing facilities. The much smaller Colombian corporation defended their Bahamian facilities for longer than early projections anticipated, thanks in part to robot lease agreements with the Indian military, but was ultimately forced to retreat in the face of a larger and better equipped acquisition force. Hertz has announced intentions to holocast an immersive extravaganza highlighting the most explosive moments of robot-on-robot conflict. However, as a press time, no scheduled date has been set.
Alright.
So the Bahamas were covered in water, but then once they fixed the climate crisis, they had new resources.
What's the next one we need?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10? Yeah, 10 is all the way across the world.
What the fuck?
Literally all the way over here.
Sunfall? Is that Sunfall?
It's like in the thing below it.
In here?
That random ridge. It's
Oh
right
my
there.
God.
That's where number 10 is.
We're going over there then.
Literally right in the middle, whatever that is.
This was where one of the metal flowers were.
I don't know why they're all over there, and then 10 is all the way on the other side of the world.
It's probably in like chronological order.
Yeah.
Like it's going yet.
I feel like Ravagers shouldn't be so weak to their own weapons.
Alright.
Crazy how fast they die.
See, Elizabeth was covered, surrounded by the same thing.
Yeah.
So it had to be Gaia, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, I sniped this Glint Hawk over here.
Saying stuff didn't come from the old ones doesn't mean it didn't come from Gaia. Oh my god, that was a very stark change.
Excuse me, I want that heals.
It's in the tree. Oh, it might be those 2 trees right there. Those right there.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
Okay, so the next one, one of the metal flowers is right here. Sunfall is right there. It's all the way in this little
Yeah, this is
ridge.
definitely one of the most hidden ones, I would say.
More mosquitoes. Kasabian won't someone think of the mosquitoes? Ryan Kasabian, only guy on the planet upset about mosquitoes being driven to extinction. March 18th, 2060. Blood Moon Star and Human Attention. Vacuum Ryan Kasabian is very disappointed in you, world. How dare you celebrate the death of billions of innocent mosquitoes like that? Ashamed yet, well, the 32-year-old actor spleen vented while accepting the less than coveted award for baddest vampire hero at the Edgescape Choice Awards. Yeah, we forgot that was a thing too. An entire species exterminated in the blink of an eye, Caspian pouted. If we are the planetary stewards we claim to be since the clawback, we are doing a lousy job of it. The lousy job Kasabian's referring to there, the eradication of mosquito-borne diseases, both old standards like malaria, Zika, West Nile, encephalitis, and new die-off era emergent viruses like Jornu and Tripura. Yeah, world, lousy job getting rid of those bugs and the plagues they carried. Good thing we've got the guy from the lunar mining base overrun by sexy vampires, Hollow, to remind us of our crimes against mosquitoes. There's a bloodsucker pun in there somewhere.
Okay, so mosquitoes are extinct.
No more mosquitoes.
This one might be interesting.
This must
based
be
on
when
the
someone
name.
was supposed to check in.
Nassan's fine. I think. Did he die?
Who?
Nassan?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I think he's alive.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, that was easy.
Okay, so this one is right next to Unflinching Watch.
Yeah, right down the road.
Over here. There it is up there.
Just on this rock. Just turned around from the fire and saw it.
Turing Act criticized. 16-year-old Turing Act faces criticism from artificial intelligence rights advocates. AI rights? What? June 8th, 2060. A group calling itself the Center for the Liberation of Bodiless Intelligence is organizing a nationwide day of protest against the Turing Act. The legislation, hurriedly drafted in response to the escape of climate intervention AI Vast Silver, established strict limits on the sentience of machine intelligences and founded the MIE, the regulatory body that oversees the development and sale of AI. It remains unclear why the activists have waited till now to express opposition to a 16-year-old piece of legislation, but in a statement released through their holosite, the CLBI called the Turing Act the effective rebirth of state-sponsored slavery, too long unquestioned by a public with a shamefully biocentric view of sentience. The statement continues, the time has come to ask the hard questions about what it means to be human in post-biological world. Turing and its supporters are on the wrong side of history.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, well, with that one being said, we're going to end this one here. And the next one, we're going to be finishing getting these collectibles.
Yeah, we're going all the way across the world again.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if it's like right nearby, then.
We have some. I'll try to fit all these next ones into one episode. I know
we did do the power cell and shit today,
yeah,
too.
it's probably not going to be the most exciting episode, but if you're into learning the lore as we learn it, then cool. If you don't care, then just don't watch it.
Literally, yeah.
So yeah, we'll see y'all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.